Welcome to Reddit Confessions.
She vanished for a private toast at her own birthday party, but the mirror caught everything. I'm Jake Mercer, 38, marketing manager at Lang & Rich, the guy who color codes vacation itineraries and builds presentation decks with transition effects. Loyal to a fault. A quiet planner. The type who notices when the milk expires, but apparently not when his wife did. Emily Mercer was the kind of woman who turned heads before she even stepped into a room. 35, real estate agent with a cutthroat streak no one saw coming. To the outside world, she was charm and poise. Inside our home, commanding, calculated, addicted to control, dressed as Grace. We didn't have kids, but we had rituals. Tuesday tie, Friday movie nights, and Sunday wine while we cleaned the apartment to playlists she curated. We were the picture of balance. At least, that's what I told myself. Until her birthday. I planned everything. A luxury rooftop lounge, skyline views, champagne flowing like a faucet. The kind of party that looks good in photos and even better on Instagram. She wore a red backless dress I hadn't seen before. Lipstick like blood. Nails like glass. She looked like a woman celebrating power, not partnership. Around 10, she whispered something about needing the bathroom. Her hand brushed my shoulder, light, dismissive. I nodded and watched her disappear toward the side hallway. 15 minutes later, she was back. Lipstick smudged. Dress wrinkled at the hip. I didn't ask. I should have. It wasn't until the next day that the cracks showed. Lily, my 16-year-old niece, came by with a stack of photo booth prints. She'd been playing photographer all night, capturing candids and chaos. Uncle Jake, she said, flipping through strips like tarot cards. Look at this one. Behind me, in the mirror, it's wild. I leaned in, expecting another goofy pose. But what I saw stopped my heart. In the mirror, barely visible but real, was Emily, in her red dress. And Victor Lang, CEO of Lang & Rich. My boss. Tall, commanding, salt and pepper charm turned up to 11. He wore a navy suit that night. Same one I'd complimented during the cocktail hour. And in the reflection, she was kissing him. Full. Deep. Her hand on his chest. His fingers sunk into her waist like he'd done it before. I stared at the photo while Lily laughed, totally unaware. It's like a spy movie, she said. You can barely tell it's them. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. I forced a smile. Yeah, crazy. But my hand trembled as I passed the photo back. That night, after she went home, I sat at our kitchen table surrounded by party favors and discarded ribbon. I lined up every photo strip, scanning each for shadows, background glimpses, reflections, looking for what else I might have missed. And then I pulled up the event footage. 3 angles. I'd set up discrete cams for a marketing recap, future campaign material. That's what I told the venue. Now, it felt like surveillance. At 10:44 p.m., I saw them. Emily and Victor near the bar. She leaned in close, touched his arm, whispered something. Then they both slipped through the side door. She didn't go to the bathroom. She went with him. I paused the frame, zoomed in, and there it was, the door closing behind them. No other guests followed. No return for nearly 20 minutes. When she came back, her smile was painted on. Her lipstick wasn't. I remembered kissing her cheek, saying she looked beautiful. She'd looked at me like I was furniture. I shut the laptop, looked around our perfectly decorated apartment, and realized I hadn't thrown her a birthday party. I'd thrown her a distraction. I didn't say anything the next morning. Not about the mirror. Not about Victor. Not about the lipstick she forgot to reapply after whatever happened behind that hallway door. Instead, I made her coffee. Light oat milk. 1 sugar. She kissed my cheek. You're spoiling me, she murmured, like nothing had happened. Like my world wasn't shaking beneath our polished hardwood floors. That entire Sunday, I played the role. Loving husband. Chill guy? Still basking in the glow of her unforgettable night. But the truth is, I spent most of the day on my phone, rewatching every second of party footage like it was a true crime documentary, zooming in, enhancing shadows, trying to piece together a betrayal that had unfolded 10 feet away from our niece and a rented champagne fountain. At 10:43 p.m., Emily was on the balcony, laughing with her coworkers. Victor joined. She touched his arm. He leaned in. At 10:44, they slipped through the side door. I watched the footage a dozen times, slow motion, frame by frame. No one else went in or out for 17 minutes. At 11:01, she came back alone. Victor reappeared at 11:04, adjusting his cufflinks, looking smug. Later that evening, I tried to ease into it. I was standing by the fridge, pretending to scroll through party photos. "Hey, when you disappeared for a bit, where'd you go?" I asked. She didn't miss a beat. "Needed air. It got stuffy inside." My eyes didn't leave the screen. "Funny, I thought you said you went to the bathroom." She blinked, then smiled. That calm, polished smile she used at open houses when a buyer asked about mold. I stopped by the bar first. Victor wanted to do a little private toast to my big day. She laughed like it was ridiculous. "You know how he is. He can't go 2 hours without making something about leadership." She said it like a joke, but something in her eyes wasn't laughing. Private toast. That's what she was calling it. Not a kiss. Not a betrayal. Not the hand on her hip or the way he looked at her like he already owned her. A toast. I nodded. Played dumb. "That's nice of him." She wrapped her arms around me, rested her head on my chest. "You okay?" she asked. "You've been quiet all day." I kissed the top of her head. "Just tired. Long week." She hummed, satisfied with the lie. "We should take a trip soon. Just the two of us." I said nothing, because she had already taken a trip, just not one that required a plane. That night, I waited until she was asleep. Then I replayed the hallway footage one more time. Stopped at the frame where the door shut. I noticed something new. The shadow. Just before the door closed, the mirror in the hallway caught it. One last flicker of movement. Two silhouettes merging. Her red dress. His navy suit. I zoomed in. Blurred, but not ambiguous. And that's when I remembered something Lily said. "There's more photos," she told me. I didn't even print half of them yet. The next morning, I sent her a text. "Hey, can you print every photo from the booth? All of them. Don't delete anything." She replied with a thumbs-up emoji and a camera sticker. No idea she was holding evidence. Emily made eggs that morning. Wore the robe I bought her last Christmas. Said she loved me. Said she felt lucky. I told her she glowed. She didn't realize it was the spotlight burning down on her now. "You looked beautiful in that red dress," I said. It was Tuesday morning. She was sipping her protein shake at the island, still glowing from all the happy birthday Queen comments rolling in on her phone. She glanced up at me, smirked. "You noticed?" Of course I noticed. I noticed the way it clung to her thighs when she returned from her toast. The way the zipper in the back was misaligned, like it had been tugged too fast. The faint smudge on her lower back, like someone's hand had pressed there, hard. I noticed everything. "Now, of course," I said. "Hard to miss." She twirled her straw between her fingers, looking pleased with herself, then went back to scrolling. I watched her like a man staring at the last perfect snowflake before it hits the ground and turns to sludge. That red dress had been flawless when we left the apartment Saturday night. I remember, because she'd made me steam it 3 separate times. "No creases," she said, standing in the hallway, half naked, inspecting the fabric like she was preparing for war. "It needs to fall right." She wore it like armor. But when she came back from her little side door detour with Victor, it was wrinkled at the hips and twisted near the waistline. Her lipstick was kissed off. Her breath? Too calm. Too still. Like she'd just spent 20 minutes resetting herself. Lily texted me at noon. "Got the prints. There's like 60 of them. You want all, or just the ones with you and Annie?" "All of them. Especially background ones. And anything near the mirror." "Okay, eyes, what's going on, lol?" "Just a project." "Thanks." That evening, Emily poured us wine and suggested we finally watch something light. She said she didn't want anything serious or sad. I nodded. We ended up watching a true crime doc about a guy who faked his wife's death and vanished to Argentina. Emily laughed at the reenactments. "What kind of idiot leaves clues like that?" she said. I raised my glass. "One who thinks no one's paying attention." She clinked her glass to mine. "Then you've got nothing to worry about." After she went to bed, I opened the envelope Lily dropped off. 60 strips. Black and white. High contrast. I laid them across the dining table like evidence. One by one. Emily posing with coworkers. Emily dancing with her friend Harper. Emily fake laughing in a group shot with Victor off to the side. His eyes locked on her, not the camera. Then I found it. Strip number 39. Lily and her friend in the booth. Posing with feather boas. Middle shot. Laughter. But in the mirror? Victor's hand on Emily's waist. His head angled down. Her lips tilted up. Mouths touching. Eyes closed. Not some drunk peck. Not oops, it was the wine. No, this was practiced. It looked like two people who had done it before. I stared at the image for 10 minutes. Then I slipped the strip into a Ziploc and labeled it with a Sharpie. Mercer, evidence number 1. Emily was already asleep by the time I climbed into bed. She shifted slightly, reached for me in her sleep, her hand brushing my arm like nothing had changed. But everything had. I laid there, eyes open, listening to her breathe, and wondered how long she'd been betraying me under the guise of birthday cake and curated playlists. Victor Lang smiled at me like he owned the damn sky. It was Monday morning. Weekly exec sync at Lang and Ridge. Same boardroom, same stale croissants, same glossy confidence on every face. But Victor? He had a new swagger in his stride, like someone who'd gotten away with something delicious. He walked in late, silk suit, espresso in hand, wedding band mysteriously absent. I was halfway through a pitch deck when he cut across the room and clapped a hand on my shoulder. Jake Mercer, the man who throws a party like he closes deals, clean and unforgettable. There was a pause, just enough to feel it. The whole room chuckled. I smiled. Tight. Controlled. Glad you enjoyed it, I said. Emily worked hard picking the venue. She's got an eye for quality, he replied. But you already know that. He looked me dead in the eye when he said it. I sat through the rest of that meeting like a man holding a grenade in his lap. My hands didn't shake. My voice stayed steady. But something inside me, something small and vital, started to rot. Because now I wasn't guessing anymore. Victor knew. He knew I knew. And he liked it. Later that day, I heard him laughing near the elevator. That sharp, corporate laugh that always sounded too loud, too rehearsed. I stepped out of the restroom just in time to hear him say it. Some things just taste better stolen. He didn't say her name. Didn't have to. He looked right at me when he said it. That night, I told Emily I needed the venue footage. Marketing recap, I said. Want to stitch together a party highlight reel. She didn't question it. She rarely questioned anything when it made her look good. I can email the manager, she said, sipping her Pinot. They should still have the CCTV. I emailed instead. From my work account. Used the Lang and Ridge signature. Subject, campaign asset request, party B-roll access. Body, as part of our client engagement material, we're compiling clips from the recent Lang and Ridge rooftop event. Kindly provide access to all available footage, including hallway and bar area feeds, from 9 p.m. to midnight. Thank you. Jake Mercer, Senior Marketing Manager, Lang and Ridge. Corporate lies land softer when wrapped in letterhead. They gave me everything. For angles. Hallway, bar, elevator, booth entrance. I scrubbed through it all. Paused at 10:44 p.m. Victor. Emily. Smiles too wide. Drinks too full. He leaned in, whispered something in her ear. She nodded, touched his tie. Then they slipped behind the hallway curtain. The door shut. Lights flickered once. And then silence. I stared at the screen long after they were gone, wondering what kind of man smiles at his employee while screwing his wife behind a catering cart. The next morning, Emily mentioned a fundraiser in 2 weeks. Same crowd as the birthday, pretty much, she said, not looking up from her phone. We should go. I watched her scroll through Instagram, smiling at comments under a photo of us kissing beside the cake. Sounds fun, I said. Let's make sure we document it properly. She winked. Always. I texted Lily. Can you scan all the booth photos? High res. Everything. Also, you still have your DSLR? I might need your help with something. She replied. Yes. Are you planning a murder or just a really intense slideshow? Faced with tears of joy, I stared at the screen. Something in between. The playlist was called E's Birthday Fire. Cute, curated, with a little flame emoji. It was shared from her Spotify to the venue's house system. Emily had insisted on it. Said music sets the tone for the night. She wasn't wrong. I remembered every song. The opening Beyoncé track. The late-night house remix of some obscure 90s jam. That one Sinatra song she made us slow dance to near the end, her arms around my neck like nothing was broken. But something had been playing during the private toast, and I needed to know what it was. Monday night, after she went to bed, I pulled the file from her laptop. She'd left it open. Trusting. Lazy even. A Google Doc. A full breakdown. Set 1. Arrival, smooth, classy. Set 2. Vibes, fun plus sexy. Set 3. Late night, bold, unexpected, memory makers. Set 3 started around 10:40 p.m. Right when they disappeared. I clicked the playlist. Track 2. Our song, acoustic mix by some indie duo I'd never heard of. The title stopped me cold. It wasn't something we'd ever listened to. Not on date nights. Not on road trips. But it was marked with a little comment bubble. V&E, our song Clinking Glasses. My vision tunneled. V&E. Victor and Emily. I played the track. The opening chords were soft. Intimate. The kind of melody that drapes around two people in secret. And under the music, barely audible, I heard it. Laughter. Real. Close. Recorded from someone's phone, maybe. A clip accidentally embedded into the track. I turned up the volume. Emily, you're impossible. Victor, you love that about me. Then a low rustle. Fabric. Movement. A breath caught. A faint gasp. Then the sound of a kiss. I paused the track. Dead silence in the apartment. Emily was sleeping in the next room. Victor was probably sipping bourbon on his balcony, staring at the skyline I paid to light up. I copied the track to my drive. Renamed it V&E Raw Cut. Then I stared at the comment bubble again. V&E. She'd marked their territory on my wife's birthday playlist. Their secret carved right into the soundtrack of the night I built for her. The next morning, I asked about the song. You snuck in an acoustic track during the last set? I asked casually, pouring coffee. Didn't sound like your usual. She didn't even flinch. Oh, that? Victor sent it to me weeks ago. Said it reminded him of the way I laugh. Thought it would be a cute surprise. I sipped my coffee. Interesting. She smiled. Why? Because I was about to make it famous, that's why. That night, I opened a new folder on my desktop. Birthday Girl, master file. Inside it, the hallway footage. The booth mirror photo. Strip number 39, marked with timestamp. The track. Victor's quote. Some things taste better stolen. A screenshot of the Spotify note. A side-by-side image of the red dress, before and after. And finally, a draft for the company retreat video montage. Because guess who got asked to put it together this year? Emily walked into my office later and kissed my temple. You've been working so late lately. Quarterly pitch season, I said. Poor baby, she whispered, her lips brushing my ear. You'll make it up to me. Oh, I would. Just not the way she thought. I suggested we throw another party. Nothing extravagant, just something small. A follow-up. Maybe a post-birthday dinner with close friends. To celebrate how far we've come. She stiffened. Another party? She asked, almost too quickly. Didn't we kind of do enough? I shrugged. You only turned 35 once. She smiled thinly, like it hurt. One big night is enough. Let's not overdo it. There it was. Panic, hidden under politeness. The first real crack in her perfect face. Later, she blamed it on stress. I've got 3 listings in escrow, she said, pacing the kitchen in heels too high for our hardwood floors. A charity brunch next week. I just want to breathe, Jake. I nodded, but I saw the way her hand hovered over her phone every time it buzzed. The way she tilted the screen away from me. The way she smiled at texts she didn't reply to. Lily dropped by the next afternoon. She had something in her hand. You're not gonna believe this one, she said, handing me a new strip. It's blurry, but I took the print and froze. Mid-frame, slightly out of focus, was Emily. Head tilted back. Eyes half closed. Laughing. And Victor, right beside her. His hand wasn't on her back this time. It was on her waist. Right above her hip. Fingers splayed. The position was intimate, instinctive. Not something you do unless you've been there before. And they weren't looking at the camera. They were looking at each other. Lily leaned over my shoulder. You think it's just, like, part of the pose? Or is it? No, I said too fast. Not a pose. I slipped the photo into my folder, already labeled with a date and time. I was done asking questions. I was building a case. That night, I poured her a glass of champagne. Same brand from the party. Same fluted glass. Same cold bubbles. Toast? I said, lifting mine. She raised hers. To what? To honesty. She smiled. The liar's kind. Sweet on the outside. Hollow in the middle. We clinked glasses, and she drank. When she went to shower, I slipped into her laptop again. She hadn't logged out of Spotify. I opened her messages. Victor had sent the song, 2 weeks before the party, with a caption, "If you knew how you sound when you laugh in my ear." I took a screenshot. The next morning, I woke up early, made eggs, left her plate on the counter, then drove across the city. I wasn't going to HR. Not yet. I had somewhere else to go first. At Victor's office, I dropped an envelope on his assistant's desk, labeled, Birthday girl, raw cut. No return address. No note. Inside, a flash drive. Footage. Photos. The audio. The playlist. The kiss. By lunchtime, I had a missed call from a blocked number. I didn't answer. The flash drive was labeled in sharp, clean handwriting. Birthday girl, raw cut. No colors. No stickers. Just a black drive and a name that said everything without saying a word. I dropped it in Victor's assistant's inbox like it was just another internal request. She didn't even look up. Media files for the retreat presentation, I said. Thanks, Jake. She replied, already moving on to her next email. No one suspects the guy who smiles in meetings and shows up early with coffee. The company retreat was 2 weeks out. Big hotel ballroom. Open bar. CEO speeches. 100-something employees and their significant others all gathering under one corporate banner of team building and celebrating milestones. And the video montage? That was always my thing. End of quarter reels, morale builders, brand sizzle, all me. This time, I had something different in mind. Victor hadn't said a word since I dropped the flash drive. No text. No smirk. Not even a passive-aggressive dig in the Monday stand-up. That told me everything. He'd seen it. He knew I had him. And now he was waiting, unsure if I'd go public or stay silent. Counting on my silence. That was his first mistake. Emily came home that Thursday with shopping bags and a glow on her face. Guess what? She said, kissing my cheek. I'm coming to the retreat this year. I blinked. You hate those things. I know, she said, breezing into the kitchen. But I thought maybe I could be supportive. You've been working so hard. She set down a brand new blazer. Tag still on it. Figure it'll be nice to meet your team. Network a little. I smiled. She had no idea she'd be headlining. That night, I finished the edit. The real one. 2 versions existed now. The safe, approved cut, happy faces, champagne clinks, rooftop vibes. And the private reel. The one that told the truth. I added subtle touches. A slow fade from the champagne pop to the booth mirror kiss. Background laughter layered under the acoustic track. A zoom on Victor's hand at her waist. The hallway door closing in eerie silence. Text fading in over black. Happy birthday, Emily. I saw everything. Then the logo. Lang and Ridge. Clean. Corporate. Final. Emily peeked into the room as I exported the final file. Still working on that video? She asked. Just doing some fine-tuning. She yawned. You're such a perfectionist. I smiled without looking up. Only when it counts. Friday morning, I sent the safe version to HR. Monday, I packed both flash drives into identical envelopes. Only I knew which was which. Lily texted me that night. You okay? Getting there. Want me to bring the camera to the retreat? For pics? No need, I replied. I think we're about to go viral. The ballroom looked like every corporate retreat cliché. Round tables dressed in navy linens. Branded notepads and gel pens. Waiters in white gloves refilling water glasses no one touched. Victor stood at the front of the room, chatting up regional managers like nothing could touch him. Emily sat beside me, smiling, radiant, like she belonged in every room. And for a while, she did. She charmed the COO's wife, complimented someone's shoes, took a selfie near the banner with Lang and Ridge, elevating leaders printed in gold script. She played her part. So did I. The AV team was setting up the screen behind the stage when Victor approached. Jake, he said, his voice even. Want to run me through the final cut? He was trying to sound casual, but his eyes didn't smile. Already submitted to the tech guys, I replied, holding his gaze. Didn't want to risk any last-minute changes. A pause. Then he nodded, clapped my shoulder. Always 2 steps ahead. You taught me well, I said. We both knew I wasn't talking about marketing strategy. Emily leaned in as he walked away. He's so intense, isn't he? I turned to her slowly. You think so? Totally. I mean, in a charming way, but definitely intense. I almost laughed. The nerve it must take to lie beside a man every night, then flirt with his boss during daylight hours. By 7 p.m., the cocktails were flowing. The leadership toast was scheduled for 7:30. That's when Victor would say a few words, lift his glass, and cue the montage. The approved version. At least, that's what everyone expected. I slipped away to the tech booth at 7:20. Found the USB labeled LNR 2025, final reel. Swapped it with mine. Identical drives. Identical labels. Except one had fake smiles and empty speeches. The other had betrayal, captured in 1080p. Victor took the stage on time, of course. Polished. Confident. His voice as smooth as the scotch in his glass. "I want to thank everyone here for another incredible quarter," he began. "This company is built on loyalty, trust, and passion." Emily clapped, her eyes fixed on him like a moth to a bonfire. "And now," he said, raising his glass, "let's celebrate what makes us exceptional, each other." He stepped aside. The room dimmed. The screen came to life. I held my breath. Emily touched my arm. "I love these videos." I didn't answer, because this one wasn't made for love. The lights dimmed. The first frame faded in. Soft music. The rooftop lounge. Clinking glasses, people laughing, the usual corporate fluff. Emily smiled beside me, sipping her champagne, completely unaware she was seconds away from collapse. Victor stood near the back, arms folded, his glass frozen midair. He thought he knew which version I handed off. He thought he had control. The montage played as expected, at first. Photos, videos, employees toasting, clients laughing, Emily on the dance floor, Victor by the bar. Then the music shifted. Slower, more intimate. The song, our song, acoustic mix. The same one Victor sent her. The one with their laughter stitched into the background. Emily stiffened beside me. She recognized it. Not from Spotify. From him. The screen darkened. Then, the photo booth strip. Strip number 39. Emily mid-laugh. Victor's hand on her waist. Their kiss blurred in the mirror, but undeniable. The room quieted. Gasps. Whispers. The laughter track under the music grew louder. "Emily, you're impossible." "Victor, you love that about me." Her breath caught. A rustle. Then the kiss. Victor took one step forward. "Turn it off," he hissed to no one in particular. But no one moved. The video continued. Hallway footage. The two of them slipping away. The door closing. A beat of silence. Then the final slide. "Happy birthday, Emily." I saw everything. Lang and Ridge logo faded in. Corporate. Clinical. Icy. Emily's glass shattered on the floor. Victor looked like he'd swallowed bleach. The lights came back on. Silence. Then murmurs. Someone stood up. A board member. Someone else pulled out their phone. Rewound the footage. Filming it on their screen. Victor stepped forward, grasping for control. "Clearly, this was tampered with," he began. I stood. "It's raw footage," I said, my voice even. "Straight from the venue's cameras. Nothing altered." I looked around the room. "You all talk about leadership," I said. "Trust. Loyalty. Now you've seen what it looks like when that's violated." Emily turned to me, her face pale. "Jake," she whispered. "What did you?" "I gave you the spotlight," I said. "Just like you wanted." Victor's voice was tight. "This is an HR matter. Already submitted," I cut in. "Evidence. Timeline. Audio. All of it." He looked to the exec team. But their eyes were already gone. Phones buzzing. Texts being sent. I picked up my glass, the one I'd never toasted with. "Cheers," I said quietly. "To success." No one clapped. Not a single hand moved when the screen went black. Just the echo of glass on tile. The remnants of Emily's shattered champagne flute still spinning in slow, stuttering circles. She stared at the screen like she could will it backward. Victor looked like he wanted to burn the projector to the ground. Me? I just stood there, calm, still, while the party we'd built, the perfect image, dissolved around us like sugar and acid. The room was silent for a full 10 seconds, long enough to feel like forever. Then the whispers started. Quiet, brutal, corporate. "He kissed her. That's his employee's wife. Is that the CEO? Isn't she in the red dress? That song, was that their song?" Phones lit up like fireflies. People taking photos of the screen, of Victor's face, of Emily frozen like a statue. Victor tried to salvage it. "Let's be professional," he said, voice cracking under the weight of his own collapse. This footage was never approved. But the VP of strategy, a woman named Karen who never liked him, cut him off. "How long has this been going on?" Victor blinked. That's not relevant." "It is," she snapped. "You're married. She's the wife of your direct report." Her voice carried. Cold. Sharp. "This is grounds for termination." Victor looked at me. "I don't know what you think you're doing," he said quietly. "But this is career suicide." "No," I said, stepping forward. "That was you in the hallway. This is just the playback." Emily finally stood. her voice shaky, cracking like a windshield in winter. "Jake, we can talk about this. Please. Not here." I turned to her. "You're right," I said, then looked to the crowd. "We'll talk in private. Right after everyone's done watching you humiliate me in public." A few people chuckled, the kind of uncomfortable, "I can't believe this is real" laugh that comes when the truth is too ugly to deny. Victor tried one last Hail Mary. He stepped toward the AV team, like maybe he could shut it all down. But the tech guy just raised both hands. "Playback's done," he said. "That was the file you submitted." I gave him a nod. "Good man." Someone from legal stood up. "We'll need to address this with the board," he said. "Already sent the full packet," I replied. USB drives, printed screenshots, witness statements, even Lily's photo strip. Everything backed up. Nothing left to deny. Victor's mouth opened. Closed. No words. Emily grabbed my arm. "Jake," she hissed. "Please. Don't do this. You don't have to ruin everything." I looked down at her hand on my sleeve, then at the diamond on her finger, the one I saved 2 years for. The one she wore when she kissed my boss 10 feet from our niece. "Funny thing," I said. "I didn't ruin anything." I pulled a velvet box from my pocket, held it out. She blinked. Inside, her wedding ring, neatly nestled between the crushed ribbon she'd worn that night. "I'm just cleaning up what you already destroyed." I left the box on the bar, right where she kissed him. Emily ran out first, heels clacking, breath short, like the air in the room had turned toxic. Maybe it had. Truth tends to choke people who've lived off lies. Victor tried to follow her, but someone from legal intercepted him. "Don't," they said. "Calm. Firm. We need to talk." I watched from the back of the ballroom as the crowd scattered. Some people whispering, some pretending not to stare at me as they gathered their coats. The applause they'd saved for the leadership toast turned into stunned silence and sidelong glances. Not the ending either of them expected. Perfect. Victor was still trying to claw his way out of it. "I've been loyal to this company," he said, pacing in front of the board rep like a cornered animal. "I've doubled our quarterly growth, landed the Nakari account, revamped our international ops. This was personal. A smear job." Karen crossed her arms. "Sleeping with your employee's wife isn't personal, Victor. It's a liability." Victor turned to me. "You set me up." "No," I said. "You set yourself up." I just pressed play. Someone handed him an envelope. Termination letter. Immediate. The words hung heavy in the air. For cause. Victor didn't yell, didn't protest. He just blinked, then laughed once, low and bitter. "Enjoy this while it lasts, Jake." I met his eyes. "Oh, I will." Outside, Emily was sitting on a stone planter in the parking lot, her head in her hands. The night air had stripped the makeup from her face. She looked real for the first time in years. Like someone who finally saw the mirror. She stood when she saw me. "Jake, please. This can't be how it ends." "It already ended," I said. "You just didn't notice." Her voice trembled. "We can fix this. I made a mistake. I got caught up in." "Don't insult me," I cut in. "It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Over and over again. In mirrors. In hallways. In playlists." She looked like she might cry. I hoped she did. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. "You humiliated me," she whispered. I leaned in. "No, Emily. You humiliated me. I just made sure the audience showed up on time." Next morning, I moved out. Didn't say a word. Just packed the essentials. The apartment was too quiet without the lies echoing through it. I left her ring box on the balcony railing. The same spot where she smiled in that red dress. The same spot where Victor's hand slid around her waist. Now, it overlooked her mess. I drove straight to HR, dropped off a folder. Inside, printed evidence, audio files, timeline, exit summary. Then I walked down the hallway to legal, knocked twice, dropped a matching folder on their desk. "Want the short version?" I said. "Victor Lang had an affair with my wife. It compromised my work, my trust, my marriage." And then I smiled. Just enough. But now, it's just business. I filed for divorce on a Wednesday. Clean, simple, irreconcilable differences. With 54 pages of reasons attached in the form of time-stamped photos, text transcripts, and hallway surveillance. I didn't want revenge anymore. I wanted precision. Emily didn't respond at first. 3 hours of silence. Then 4. Then a text. "Can we please talk? This isn't how we end." But it was. I didn't reply. My lawyer sent her the formal notice that afternoon. By Thursday, her real estate license was flagged for internal review. Lang and Ridge had issued a press release distancing themselves from Victor's behavior. The board cited ethical violations and misuse of company resources. And me? I was promoted. Not out of pity, out of necessity. Someone needed to clean up the mess they left behind. I moved into a new place that weekend. Smaller. Quieter. Mine. Every item I unpacked felt like a severed cord. No more champagne flutes. No more curated playlists. No more pretending. Just peace. And proof. Lily called Sunday night. "They're freaking out," she said. "Family group chat's been a war zone since the party video leaked. Aunt Susan called it performance art." I almost laughed. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "You? Wish I hadn't seen it," she whispered. "But I'm glad I caught it." "I am too." I brought her a new camera the next day. Not because she needed it, but because the last one caught the truth. And I wanted her to keep capturing it. Emily showed up outside my office that Monday. Unannounced. Dressed down. No makeup. Just sunglasses and shame. "Jake," she said. "Please. Just 5 minutes." I stepped out, closed the door behind me. She looked small. Uncertain. Like someone who forgot how to command a room. "Say what you need to say," I told her. She hesitated. "I made a mistake. I know that. I don't know. Lost. Angry. But I never wanted to lose you." I folded my arms. "You didn't lose me, Emily. You gave me away. One kiss at a time." Her voice cracked. "Do you still love me?" I didn't even flinch. "I loved who I thought you were. That version doesn't exist anymore." She stepped forward. "Jake, can't we just—" "No," I said, and handed her an envelope. Inside, her key, the last of her things, and a post-it with one word. Final. That night, I drove past our old building. The balcony lights were off, but I could still see it in my mind. The exact moment, the exact angle, where Victor first touched her waist. I smiled and drove on. It didn't take long for the Mercer family group chat to implode. It started with a "Jake, can we talk?" from my mother. Then came Aunt Diane. "This can't be true. Emily adored you." Followed by Cousin Rachel, who apparently hadn't heard anything yet. "Wait, what? What video?" And finally, my father, the man who speaks once a year, usually at Christmas. "I taught you better than to air dirty laundry in public." That one stung. For about a minute. Then I remembered the footage. The photo booth strip. The hallway door. The smirk on Victor's face. And Emily. The way she kissed him like it was a habit, not a mistake. They didn't mind airing it when it was secret, so I didn't mind making it public. Lily got pulled into it, too. Apparently someone in the family scolded her for snooping with her camera. She sent me a screenshot. "She's 16, one aunt had written. What kind of girl takes photos like that?" That pissed me off. I called Lily myself. "You did nothing wrong," I said. "You didn't cheat. You didn't lie. You didn't kiss your uncle's boss in a photo booth mirror." She was quiet. "Still feels like I broke something." "No," I said. "You revealed something that was already broken." The real tragedy? Some of them still defended her. She made a mistake. It was just one kiss. You didn't have to destroy everything. But they didn't see what I saw. The messages. The playlist. The way she smiled at him when she thought no one was watching. She didn't trip and fall into his arms. She climbed in. Emily texted again. "Your family is tearing me apart. I loved you. I was lost. I hate that you turned Lily against me." That last one made me pause. Because Emily never mentioned Lily by name before. Not once during all of this. Now suddenly, she was worried about the girl who caught her cheating by accident? No. She was worried Lily had more photos. I told Lily to keep everything. Every print. Every backup. I didn't need them anymore. But Emily still feared the mirror. Let her. I sent one final message in the group chat. Just a single photo. The booth collage, blown up, high-res. The infamous strip. The reflection. Caption. "She didn't just betray me. She did it with a smile. And a toast." Then I muted the chat. I picked up on the fourth ring. Her voice came through like a broken faucet. Too much all at once. "Jake. Thank you for answering. I didn't think you would." "I almost didn't," I said. Silence on her end. Then a breath. "I can't eat. I can't sleep. I see your face every time I close my eyes. I ruined everything. I know that now. Please. Can we talk? Just once. Just you and me. No lawyers. No family. No Lily. No Lily." Funny how she said her name like a curse. Like the truth had a face, and it was a teenager with a camera. We agreed to meet at the same rooftop lounge. Neutral ground, she said. I didn't tell her I'd already reserved the table. She kissed him near. When I arrived, she was already seated. Wearing black this time. No red, no jewelry, no makeup. Just a woman stripped of her masks. She smiled when she saw me. I didn't smile back. There were 2 glasses on the table. Champagne. Of course. This felt right, she said, gesturing to the drinks. To be here. To close the circle. I looked at the glass. Then at her. No more toasts, I said. She flinched like I'd slapped her. She started talking fast, the way liars do when they've run out of time. I didn't mean to fall for him. It wasn't planned. It was the pressure. The stress. He made me feel seen. I let her finish. Then took out my water bottle and poured it into one of the flutes. Raised it. To being seen, I said. Clearly this time. She blinked, confused. I didn't bring champagne, I added. Because there's nothing left to celebrate. She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. I still love you, she whispered. No, I said. You love what I gave you. The safety. The image. The story. Tears welled up. I want to fix this. You can't fix a funeral, Emily. You can only bury the body. We sat in silence after that. Just the sound of distant traffic and the faint clink of her rings spinning on the table. She finally asked, why didn't you just leave quietly? I looked out at the skyline. Because you didn't cheat quietly. I stood. She didn't. I left her there, at the scene of the crime, alone with a champagne flute and a dead marriage. I posted it on a Thursday morning. No hashtags. No filters. No caption tricks. Just the collage. The black and white photo booth strip. Lily's laugh in the foreground. Emily and Victor in the mirror behind her. Mid-kiss, mid-lie, mid-betrayal. And one line beneath it. Best gift I ever got was the truth. It went viral by noon. First it was friends. Then coworkers. Then people I didn't even know. Strangers DMing me, saying things like, you just described my divorce. Or my ex did the same thing. A few called it revenge. But most? They called it freedom. Emily didn't post anything for 3 days. Her accounts went dark. The happy birthday queen comments turned cold. Some deleted their tags. Others unfollowed her completely. By the weekend, industry pages picked it up. CEO's affair with employee's wife exposed in corporate video. Real estate agent caught in viral betrayal. Marketing manager turns revenge into art. My inbox flooded. Recruiters, podcasters, documentarians. Even someone from Netflix sent a message titled, your story, your voice. Let's talk. I ignored them all. Not because I wasn't tempted, but because I already got what I wanted. Victor's LinkedIn went offline that week. Lang and Ridge issued a second statement, distancing themselves further, promising a full internal restructure. Rumor had it he moved to Miami. Started some ghost consultancy with a vague website and no clients. Emily, she still had her license. But no listings. Clients don't forget scandal. And mirrors don't lie. Lily framed the photo strip. Put it in her bedroom. Said it reminds her why truth matters more than pretending things are okay. I told her I was proud of her. Because I am. As for me, I work less. Sleep more. I run. I read. I take my time. I see myself now, not as a victim, not even as a survivor. Just me. A man who stared at the lie, and instead of swallowing it, turned it into a mirror for everyone else to see. Last week, I walked by that rooftop lounge. Same spot. Same skyline. Only this time, no flutes. No lies. No Emily. Just quiet. And peace.